come here, I'm about to take you higher. We about to set this bitch on fire. Pour a little gas, spark up your lighter. You might not be the one. Hey.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, you guys may have seen me in this same attire a little bit ago. So, okay, this is another tag I thought was pretty funny. I got this from my girl Cydia. Are you reading the title? It says, the 10 makeup mistakes I've made in the past. It took me a while to think of 10. So I even like looked back on like pictures of myself from like back then and was like, oh god, what was I thinking? So I think this is pretty funny. I think all makeup gurus should do this tag. It's pretty hilarious. If you watch a few of them, like a few that I've watched, I was like, oh god, me too. Like, wow. It took a while, you know, to get good at makeup. So sorry, my eyelash is like poking me. I have it on my phone. So, okay, first number one thing I know for a fact that I used to always do wrong. Not always, but like when I first started wearing foundation, because you guys know, okay, this is part of the reason why I don't wear foundation very much, is because it's hard to match me. It's hard to get my shade. It took me forever to figure out that I was NC42 from MAC. I would use NC40. I used NW35. I was matched at NC45 once. So it was extremely dark for me. I didn't even like notice. Basically, I was always matched by somebody else wrong. So, I mean, I didn't know any better, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, honestly, when I started doing makeup on other people, like, I use mostly like powder, tinted moisturizer, you know what I mean? I think that's why I use tinted moisturizer more often than foundation, because it's easier. Like it's more easier to blend, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's easier to blend into your skin to make more natural, you know what I mean? Like right now I'm wearing tinted moisturizer. If I was wearing foundation, I mean, like I said, it took me a while to get matched like perfectly. Like today, okay, I did a bridal trial on somebody, and my shade, okay, I'm darker than this girl, and I used my Makeup Forever HD on her, and it matched her perfectly. Like to the T. Like it matched her so perfect, I didn't even have to blend to her neck. I mean, I did it anyway because that's what you're supposed to do. But I was like, what? I was like, oh shit, that means it doesn't fit me. That means it's not my shade, because she's like literally, I would say, a shade, maybe 2 shades lighter than me. That explains why I don't really use it very often, and why I would mix my Makeup Forever HD with my darker makeup Photo Ready, my Revlon Photo Ready, to like kind of get a warmer shade. Yeah, I was always fucking up on my makeup shade. It took me forever to get matched perfectly in MAC, and even sometimes NC42 is like slightly light. I'm like NC42, 43, sometimes 44. Like it's that bad. I'm like right in between. There are even times when I have to like mix stuff to get my perfect shade. But yeah, all around NC42. But it took me forever to figure that out. Like I've been doing makeup for 10 plus years, and I probably figured that out when I was 21. So I was doing makeup for at least 5-6 years. I mean, why would you take makeup advice from someone who can't even match their makeup, you know, their makeup right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Foundation's like the first thing. I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed. All bad. To make it worse, I never used to blend like down my neck, because I was like, oh, it matches me, whatever. Like I didn't know the whole theory, you know, where it's supposed to blend, you know, to your neck, or it's supposed to match your body. Like I would match it literally to my face, and that's no. Don't ever do that. No, and no. Blend it. You don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. Okay, so those are 2 mistakes that I did, and they were both with foundation. All bad. Third mistake. This is funny. Okay, so when I first started doing makeup, I didn't do the most. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually practiced more on everybody else than myself. So like that's kind of how I learned, you know, how to do makeup. So when I started doing it on myself, it was a little bit different. So one of the main things that I used to use all the time, like tried and true, was always lip gloss. Like lip gloss for like hella years was like my ultimate favorite makeup thing to use. and I would use it like no other. Like it was the only thing I had. Like I would layer it, and then layer it again, and then layer it again, and then maybe put another, you know, layer just for a little bit more, you know. No. I mean, it's one thing to, you know, put on a layer of lip gloss. Like now I only do like maybe 1, maybe 2 layers, but it's very rare. I, you know, do one of those and then put it on the top, and that's it. That's really all you need. Like, don't overload it. Like, I would overload it to the point where if I went like this, like it would be sticky. Like, that's gross. Another mistake. Oh god, okay. If I ever see any of you guys doing this, I will stop you, okay? I used to blow on my brushes. It's one thing to blow on your product, like, you know, if they're, because, you know, I understand, like, when, you know, especially a powder product, like, if you're, you know, swirling it, you know, a little dust gets around, so I can understand if you blow, but don't blow on your brushes, because this is what happens. You do this, and then you put it on. No. Like, I've seen even gurus do this, and I feel like reaching in and yanking that brush out of your hand. Like, what are you doing? You just, if you, I mean, you may not have felt it, okay, but you may have spit. You may have spit on your brush, and that spit just went on your eyeshadow. It went here and here. Like, really? Bad. Very unsanitary. Like, see, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I sanitize my makeup all the time. So even if I were to blow on it, I know that probably either that day or the next day or another day, I'd be sanitizing it. So at least I sanitize. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't clean my brushes very often. Like, I deep clean them once, twice a month because I don't use them like that. And I spot clean them every time I use them. But that doesn't mean I could just spit on them and then put it on my face. Like, that's a totally different concept. Please don't ever do that. Ever. I mean, you may as well just lick your face. Blood, like, ugh. And speaking of brushes, another mistake is that I very rarely cleaned my brushes. I do now, like I said, like I mentioned, you know, I clean it very often. But before, I didn't even know what brush cleaner was. Like, I mean, when I found out MAC had one, then, I mean, I would use it, but not only would I use it very rarely, but I used it extremely wrong. I didn't use it in the right way at all. Like, I would literally, like, you know, squeeze it on my brush and, like, drain the shit out of it, and then kind of, like, rub it on, you know, a paper towel, thinking it was cleaning it, which, you know, it is, but what you should do is either put it in a spray bottle. You know, if you're spot cleaning, okay, you either put it in a spray bottle or put it on the paper towel or towel, whatever it is that you're using, and then do it that way. Like, that's how you spot clean. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a video on it. I hardly clean my brushes. Like, you know, it's different when you know, you take the brush and you kind of wipe the product off on a towel. That's all I would ever do. Like, I would just, you know, kind of wipe the product off, thinking that it was taking off the last eyeshadow I put, and then dip it into a new eyeshadow, and then put it on. And like that, no. Really? No. To make it worse, I only had so many brushes back then. Like, I had a fourth of, you know, the amount of brushes that I have now, and I, like, barely ever cleaned them. So I pretty much used the brushes that I had for everything that I was doing on my face. Not cool. All bad. Like, oh. Please wash your brushes as regularly as you possibly can. Another thing I used to do wrong. Oh, okay. So you know how eyeshadows have, you know, and even face products, you know, blush and whatnot, everything has a finish. Shimmer, satin, matte. I didn't know what that shit meant. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't give a shit about the difference in texture or in the difference of consistency, or, you know what I mean? Like, not like I do now. You know what I'm saying? Now I care about it. Back then, I didn't even know the difference. Like, it's worse when you know the difference and you don't know how to use it. It was both that and I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I would probably apply like 6 different shimmer eyeshadows. So, like, my whole entire lid was like just shimmer everywhere. So it's like, there's no dimension, there's no, you know what I'm saying, like, texture going on, you know what I'm saying? Not like I do now, you know what I mean? I mean, certain tutorials, you know what I mean? If it's like a tutorial on a quad or a certain palette, like, I can understand, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I had no idea, excuse me, I had no idea what the difference was. Like, it's different when you know, I mean, you can do a look all matte or all shimmer. You can do that. But I had no idea what the difference was. Like, if I saw an eyeshadow, I thought it was pretty, regardless. Like in MAC, okay, MAC has luster finishes, satin finishes, matte squared finishes, velvet, or not velvet, Velux Pearl. Sorry, that's what it's called. Like, I didn't know the difference between all that. I didn't even notice. Like, I would see it and be like, oh, cool. And that was it. Like, I'd never know. I wouldn't know. I would literally just slap on eyeshadow based on colors alone. Like, I would never know the difference. Like, I had no idea what it meant to, you know, blend in a soft brown eyeshadow into your crease for a blending color, or, you know, like, to, put in your outer V, like how you put a deeper crease color. No, I knew nothing about that. Another thing I used to do wrong that I see girls do wrong all the time, using products that don't work for you and not knowing it. I always advise girls and men to always use products that work for your skin type. Certain products don't work for certain people. Like, for example, MAC's MSF Natural. It doesn't work for everybody. It works perfect for everybody. It's like a holy grail for certain people. But for others, it's like, it breaks me out, you know, it makes me super oily during the day. Like, I mean, you really do have to try certain products for yourself to see if it works for you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I never knew if it worked for me or not. Like, I would just hear, oh, that's a good product, and I would just use it. Or I would see something that I liked. I would believe in the product marketing part of it, and just think that, oh yeah, that's the shit. And I would use it, thinking it was the shit, and I would never know that it wasn't working for me. Like, I wouldn't even, like, notice at all that it didn't work. So, it's important to know that certain products work for you and certain ones don't. You know what I mean? Like, what works for me may not work for you, even though you hear that it's, like, the shit product, or that it's, like, the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? It may not work for you. And I never knew anything about that. Like, I would hear, oh, that's a good product. Ooh, I want it. I didn't know the difference. Another thing, oh god, okay, this is not only a makeup mistake, but it's a beauty mistake. I used to sleep in my makeup all the time. All the time. All the time. On top of that, I never used to take it off properly when I did. Okay, yeah, two things. I guess I can count as two in one, because, okay, first of all, I would not only sleep in my makeup, but, like, even the next day, I'd just be like, oh, fuck, I look like shit. And then just, like, wash it off. I wouldn't even properly take it off, which is what you're supposed to do. So, more than likely, there are probably remnants of mascara or pieces of eyeliner smudge somewhere. Okay? Disgusting. That's why I had to work so hard to get my skin to look like this. Okay? You never want to do that. You want your skin on point all the time. Don't screw up your skin. Skin is what's helping you look youthful, okay? If any of you are in college, you know what I'm saying, or went to college with me, I partied hard. Like, I partied hard that I would crash, just not like wherever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if there was a house party, I'd probably crash at that person's house if I was too drunk to go home. Like, I was that stupid. You know what I mean? Don't ever do that. I would never advise you to do that. So, like, that was stupid in and of itself. But the simple fact that I, like, say I would come home all drunk and shit, like, just, like, I would literally just crash and not even think about it. All that makeup, all that sweat from the club, all that shit was getting rubbed into my pillow. Ugh. Yeah. And then I'd wake up looking like a hot mess. Like, I mean, not like all fucked up or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, girl, where you been? So, I used to always sleep with my makeup on. And then, yeah, another mistake was that I never used to take it off properly. See, now they got all this cool shit, like makeup wipes, you know, in cheaper brands, because back then, the only makeup brand that had makeup wipes was MAC. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and spend hella money on, what, I don't know, 30 wipes or something like that in a bag. No. So, I would just take it off, and I would use whatever makeup remover, you know, I could find, like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a care in the world what kind it was or whether it worked good or not. Like, if it could take off most of my most of my makeup, I would just let it. So, two makeup mistakes. Slept in my makeup and then didn't take it off all the way. Well, this is the last one that I know of that I ever did. I never used to clean my hands. Okay, it's very important. If any of you guys are freelance artists like I am, it is extremely important to work with clean hands. Always. I mean, there's at least going to be one time during your entire, session with your client that you're going to do one of these. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like clean up a little bit or like tap a little. There's at least going to be one time when you use your fingers for whatever. And if your hands are not clean, not only is that sanitary, but you're risking putting more germs on your face or someone else's. And I mean, now I'm smart. I take hand sanitizer with me in my kit, in my purse, in my car, everywhere, regardless. Or like some kind of baby wipes or something like that. Or like wet ones, whatever you call it. So yeah, before I would never do that. Like I wouldn't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my hands are clean, I didn't touch nothing. No, bitch, no. Like the air could put shit on your hands and you wouldn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Things are airborne. Okay, so be really careful with that kind of stuff. I mean, your hands get into shit all the time. Especially, that's kind of part of the reason why some people even break out, because your hands are dirty and you're like subconsciously touching your face. Like, say your hands were dirty, you didn't even really know, didn't even think about it, and you're sitting there like itching, or you go like this, or you're going like this, like you're, you know what I'm saying, you're doing something stupid, or you're like scratching your forehead, or you're like itching your eye, or whatever, you're touching your face in some way, shape, or form, and your hands are dirty. Trust me, you may see a pimple in a few days, and if not a pimple, you're gonna see something, you know what I mean, and it's not a good idea. Like, try to keep your hands away from your face. This is a skincare tip, okay? Keep your hands away from your face, keep it away from your client's face, unless they are clean. So those are my mistakes. I want to know what your mistakes were, because mine were pretty bad. And it took me a while to get as good at all this as I am now. I mean, there's still things that I'm learning, but oh lord. I mean, I've been doing makeup since I was like 15, 16. I'm about 26 now, so it's like give or take 10 years. But if I knew then what I know now, I'm just saying. So I hope you guys do this tag video too, because I think it's kind of fun. And I will talk to you guys later.